Hello and welcome to another video on OneForm. Today we're going to talk about how I'm going to set up the project. I already took these notes off camera. It's not a big deal because we're going to go through every single one together. We do need a Git repo. We're going to use LearnUp because I'm planning on not just React but other things to use OneForm if we need them in the future. I don't know how it will fit with other libraries. It's specifically designed with React in mind, but the API could be used in other places too. You could even use vanilla.js and stuff like that. There are ways to do it. I'm going to use Next.js only because I need to set up the project quickly. And the main thing that I actually want a storybook because I can use it for testing with Cypress and Cypress testing library. Next.js is only there to get me started. Honestly, I should be using something like Rollup myself or Webpack. I have no clue what I should be using at this point. I'm just going to use Next to get me started. It uses Webpack 5, which is good because I can get Macho Federation for free. And if I even use it on this project, who knows? Just setting it up that way. We'll have to figure out how to deploy it as a library and stuff. I've done libraries before, but this is going to be a little different. But Jest, I may or may not use Jest. Jest is great for unit testing, and we do have hooks that we need to unit test, but I'd rather test with Cypress and just make sure the form is working correctly, as I would expect. Like I could text a single field that way. I don't need to test with Jest necessarily. But that's up in the air. And then React and React testing library, that's right. If I have React, this would be good to have, but that's only useful with Jest and only useful if I'm testing the hooks. If I'm not testing the hooks and I'm not testing any React code in Jest, I'm not using Jest at all, then I don't need any of these. Right now, at the beginning, I'm going to skip the Jest one and the React testing library because I don't necessarily need them. I'm going to put a little star next to them. Or actually, you can put labels in Trello as yellow, like optional, I guess. These ones are optional. And then, oh, that's cool. What does that do? It just shows all of them everywhere. And then ESLint, I will bring in my own rules. I'll do that part off camera because I'm going to copy paste them. There's nothing special there. Normally I would go through and do all this work, but I literally am going to copy the package JSON and the ESLint rules and everything from a different project because I haven't finished mine yet. And they are out there, but there are some rules I need to edit because they're not working the way I expected. And I haven't touched it for over a year. The rules are mostly there, but not 100%. We do have components we want to build. We want to build the OneForm component. Previously, that was the component. Everything was in there. This time I want to use more hooks. They're not listed here, but I do want to break up these states into different hooks. Use field is another hook. Field, when we saw this before, it was oneform.field. It'll be exported like this. I just don't need the oneform dot here. I don't even know if I want to use oneform.field or whatever. Maybe I don't expose it. I'm pretty sure you need all those things though. There's no tree shaking that would happen if I put them on the OneForm. Then use field error, which is important because you can get the error on a specific field. But I was thinking about these two. Use error and use all field errors. Value observables. Yes, these are going to be observables because you can observe those values. You can also set those values by publishing onto the observable. A little bit different than normal observables. We're going to create this function ourselves to be able to do this. And then we've got registration, which is a state in the application, if your field is registered or not, because that affects other things like validation. And group validation. Visited used to be touched, and I didn't like the name, so I had somebody come up with this, and I thought this was pretty good because you have visited the field. It's not really that you visited though, it's like you've interacted with it, but it's not that you've interacted with it either, it's that the field is blurred. But visited could work. Touched could also be like the first time you click it, it displays an error. You don't want that. We have validation and group validation. As far as I know, these are the only states we need. We might need more. This is going to get very complicated when we get into dynamic field validation. Right now, I'm just going to keep it simple. It's part of the video, and we're going to break this up into chunks. Each one might be a separate video. Definitely the first video will be this, all of this. Me just setting up the project. That'll be next. All right, cool.